It's always hard to follow, Derek, but I hope you guys are awake because I have really hard questions at the end. So I'm going to talk about some of the GDUFA-III related updates, especially focusing on facility-related updates. I and Derek come from the same Office of Pharmaceutical Manufacturing Assessment, and we review NDA, ANDA, BLA for manufacturing and facilities. So you saw a lot of what we do on site in terms of inspection-related documents, but what changes we made from submission perspective so that you can get a hang of it. This happened like 2022, so we already have a year worth of experience on all these changes. So I'm gonna just touch very briefly on that. So as you can imagine, GDUFA-I, II, and III, we are making improvements so that we can enhance the assessment, we can enhance first cycle approval. That's the basic goal. And with that, keep that in mind because we want to make sure that we facilitate timely access to patients. Now, I'm just going to talk about 3 updates which are facility related and what we have done so far. There are lots of other GDUFA related updates that you heard in different sessions. So the PFC or pre-submission facility correspondence, I'll abbreviate them a lot in my presentation. So PFC, it was authorized, it was part in GDUFA-II, but we have made some updates in GDUFA-III. So I'll just go over those changes that we made. Then the reclassification request from major to minor, this is a new thing in GDUFA-III, and we have already seen a large number of applications coming in this category. And then the third one is submission with the facility not ready. And this is also new in GDUFA-III, but so far we haven't seen much applications coming in this category. So for PFC, you can see I've compared GDUFA-II versus GDUFA-III, so it's easier to understand what has really changed. So in GDUFA-II, we had needed all eCTD sections for CMC to be submitted, as well as the bioequivalence report was needed. So this two were a requirement. And then we would not accept if there were any changes with your PFC versus final ANDA submission. I hope you all are familiar with PFC. So PFC is pre-facility correspondence, comes 2 months prior to ANDA application. And OPMA reviewers mainly take a look at it along with the filing review, of course. And we make sure that there are no inspection which will be needed when the application comes in. And based on that, we accept the PFC. And so under GDUFA-II, there were no changes allowed. Now GDUFA-III, now we made some changes because we heard industry voice. So now you can present to us limited eCTD information, but also keep in mind that we need information that we would need to make sure that we have enough information to make pre-approval inspection decision. And that's why I had Derek go before me, so you understand what is needed to make pre-approval decision. Bioequivalence report is no longer needed, but you can always submit it. It's always nice to have that. Then the significant changes are not allowed between PFC and ANDA. That means some minor changes are allowed, but the changes should not impact our decision on pre-approval inspection. Otherwise, PFC will become invalid. When you submit your original ANDA application, of course, you submit with BE report. And that time we determine that, oh, we need inspection, we can, then you don't get 8 months goal date. So keep that in mind. So I have one simple case study, like where the PFC was submitted 2 months prior to original ANDA submission. Now keep in mind, you cannot submit ANDA submission within those 60 days. Otherwise, PFC becomes invalid automatically. Don't worry about the dates too much. I have calculated. So say PFC was submitted on a day 1. You had provided adequate CMC facility information so that we could assess whether pre-approval inspection is needed or regulatory remote assessment is needed. We determined in OPMA that, oh no, we don't need any pre-approval inspection. We have adequate information from our facility database and from your submission that this this application facilities, there is no need of inspection. There was no BE report submitted. The entire original and application came after 60 days, again, I've calculated the dates, so you don't have to worry about the dates here. We determined that there were no changes made in support of manufacturing facility inspections. Assessment, as I said, there are minor changes allowed, but that shouldn't impact our ability to assess whether pre-approval was needed or not. And the report also did not reveal that we need any additional inspection. So in this case, we granted priority status for the ANDA application. So it gets 8 months goal date. Now, tips for submitting a PFC. So as I said earlier, submit it completely, as much as information you can provide for making our facility assessment. The more information it is, better it is for us. So make sure that it's complete, it's accurate, because we have seen sometimes inaccuracies. You submit some facility in PFC and then ANDA comes in and we contact the facility. They are not even doing your function. So please make sure that you talk to your CMOs, as Derek mentioned, that they are doing the function that they are putting in the applications. The facility need to be ready for inspection. Although we have determined that no inspection is needed, we can always change our decision during review. If we have more information from, say there is data integrity flag that a reviewer comes up with, then we would need to do inspection, right? So it doesn't make you exempt from inspection, but so facilities have to be ready for inspection. And then make sure that you're not submitting earlier than 60 days. The original ANDA has to come after 60 days. Otherwise, PFC becomes invalid. And any significant changes, put it in cover letter. Otherwise, it becomes a nightmare for reviewers to skim through what came in PFC, compare with your original application. So make sure if there are significant changes that you highlight in cover letter. Now, second thing I wanted to talk about, major to minor. This is a new thing in GDUFA-III. So this major to minor classification request comes after CR letter goes to applicant, like you guys, and then we get the request. So that can be requested only if the major deficiency was facility related. So this is new in GDUFA-III. So far, we have already seen a lot of application. I can tell you in 2023 fiscal year, we received almost 61 major to minor classification requests. How many got denied, how many got approved, because we were also learning. So initially we saw that applicants were not submitting it correctly. So facility should be the only major deficiency, and it has to be through surveillance inspection. So Derek mentioned about pre-approval inspection. If you got a pre-approval inspection and your facility was deficient, we would not accept a major to minor reclassification. It has to be surveillance-based, and surveillance is like OMQ, Office of Manufacturing Quality, does the surveillance OAI type of assessment, and they have determined that the facility is now NAI or VAI, that is no or voluntary action indicated. So you will have to submit that information to FDA when you are submitting this major to minor request. We will look at it, OPMA gets involved and making this determination. So we will look at it whether facility is truly NAI or VAI, and your CR letter was a year old. It cannot be prior to that. Now we make exceptions when it's a drug shortage or public health emergency. So, but as much as possible, we would like to have CR letters within 1 year, right? So make sure that you understand that, and some of the other requirements that are listed here. Again, there is a case study. We are all in Bethesda, Rockville, so put Rockville manufacturing facility as they got surveillance inspection. So now what we have done since GDUFA-III, we are making prominent for you guys to understand whether the facility deficiency was based on surveillance inspection or pre-approval inspection. So you see the first word following surveillance inspection. Now, this is a little bit old boilerplate that I have put in here, but the new deficiency also will look very similar. So we'll have following surveillance inspection at your facility, blah, blah, blah. And so you understand that your deficiency was surveillance related. The application got submitted, then the follow-up surveillance inspection happened. We OMQ or ORA determined that we can downgrade. from OAI to VAI, your facility. So now you are ready to submit your M2M classification, right? So you submit it to us. You have to submit that your facility got downgraded. We look in some other information also. So automatically, oh, your surveillance inspection is VAI. If there is some other concerns, residual concerns from process or product, we may deny that. But so far, we have seen a great success. Out of 61, I think only 4 were denied, and that was very early in the program. This year, I was looking at FY24 numbers already. We have 55 in-house. We already received 55 requests. And now I don't exactly have how many we have denied, but I think so far only one has been denied. So it's a great success. This really helps industry move forward with their product and product approval. Now, again, I'm not going to repeat it, but I already said tips for M2M, so you will have this slide. You make sure that it's prominent in cover letter, this M2M request. It's only facility-based deficiency you had in your CR. So if you have other discipline deficiency and facility became VAI, please do not submit. Your application, like your request will be rejected. It has to be only facility deficiency remaining in CR letter, and it has to be only surveillance. The letter has to be only a year or within a year old, right? CR letter. So make sure that you understand, because early on we got some CR M2M requests which were CR letter were issued much before a year. So we are not accepting those. Now, third new thing that happened in GDUFA-III was facility not ready for inspection. So this is only applicable for original application. When you're submitting original application, if your facility is not ready for inspection, you can check mark on 356H form. That's how we get notification that, oh, this application has a facility not ready for inspection. Automatically, you'll get 15 months goal date. It won't be 8 months, 10 months prior, like we will be giving 15 months. But during that 15 months, you can submit amendment stating that now your facility became ready for inspection. And from the date that we receive the amendment, goal date will be calculated, right? So if it was priority, if you had PFC submitted, then we will assign 8 months of goal date. If it's a standard application, we will assign 10 months of goal date. So again, there is another 15-month period that I'm not going to discuss too much about, but say suppose you don't submit as amendment until 15th day, 15th month. We automatically extend your goal date to 30 months now. We have commitment to assess 90% of such applications. So in those remaining 15 months, we will try to contact the facility if you don't submit as amendment, because we may have to come for inspection. We have to have adequate time for inspection. So there are some nuances, but fortunately I can say that so far we only had one application that was submitted under this category, and the applicant submitted within first 15 months amendment saying that they are ready. And this could happen. You have natural disaster, you have to shut down the facility, you're not ready for inspection, or something is happening and you are ready with the rest of the submission. So that's why this was included in GDUFA-III, but we hope applicants are using it to minimum extent. We don't want to see this, because we are not going to start assessing unless we see your amendment stating that facilities are ready for inspection. We are not going to even starting to look at it substantially. Maybe we can, some disciplines might start looking at it, but at least OPMA cannot look into it, because we do combine facility knowledge with our process knowledge, and we do that kind of assessment. So application is just sitting in our BPM queue. So I hope that we don't have too many of this situation. But here is one case study. Again, it's a fake example. It's not the real example that I was talking about in earlier slide. But say Bethesda Pharmaceutical, they were not ready for inspection, still they submitted the application, and one facility came, so we immediately gave 15 months goal date, right? But within those 15 months, on 14th month, the applicant submitted that now they are ready for inspection. Now we calculated goal date after that date, so they got 10 months because this was a standard application. And I have some tips very similar to what Derek had. Please make sure that you are listing all manufacturing sites Manufacturing includes testing for us as per FDA, so all testing facilities should be noted down on 356H form. As much as possible, mark them for ready for inspection and have them ready for inspection. Sometimes we find that you have marked it on ready for inspection and we contact the facility or contact the applicant, they are not ready. So it becomes a problem, right? Then we have to withhold, and you don't want to be in that situation. We really want to move forward with first cycle approval. Your facilities should be in compliance with GMPs. Operations should match, because reviewers probably would go on inspection from time to time, and we do look at the operations are matching. And data integrity is a big thing. Make sure that your data is accurate. And of course, I didn't talk about manufacturing unit operations, but OPMA, we do that assessment also. So we want to make sure that our entire manufacturing process is fit for purpose, right? And we have control strategies in place. With that, I'm providing you with all the resources that are already there. We published some guidances and maps on some of the things that I talked. So please read. If you have any questions, you can always reach out to us. But a lot of information is already on website or in the letter.